Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Hope you really enjoy these makeup tutorials and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. Okay guys, so jumping straight into it, I'm using the Rimmel London Lasting Finish Primer today. It is a water-based primer which I really love because it makes your skin feel super hydrated and super silky smooth underneath your foundation without making it feel like that real silicone-y feel that you get from some primers. Pretty much what I'm doing here is I'm just blending it all the way into my skin, up to my hairline, across to my ears, and down onto my jawline and neck using my fingers. This primer is meant to help you increase your foundation wear for up to 8 hours. I don't know about 8 hours, but I do really love this primer. Now that our skin is all primed, I'm moving on to the L'Oreal Paris Nude Magique Blur Cream in the Finish Light to Medium Skin. Found this product a few years ago and I really fell in love with it. Pretty much what you do is you just get a little bit on your fingers and I just blend it into the triangle area under my eyes and across my nose. I do find that I get a lot of my makeup comes off during the day in those areas purely because that tends to be where you touch your skin the most. It also tends to be where your glasses sit if you wear glasses, things like that. So I pretty much just blend this in every which direction under those eye areas and across my nose. Just helps to blur out my pores, make them a little bit less visible, and it helps to even out my skin tone. And again, it just also helps my foundation to go on and stay on in that real silky, flawless finish. Here I'm just putting on a little bit of the Baby Lips Lip Balm. I put that on at the beginning of my foundation routine because I do find that it helps to moisturize my lips and it just helps my lipstick to go on and stay on a little bit better at the end. Using the buffing foundation brush that I have there, I'm putting a little bit of the L'Oreal Paris True Match Super Blendable Foundation in 3N, so beige cream or creamy beige depending on where you are. I am pretty much just buffing that in using that brush as hard as I can into my skin, moving it all the way up to my hairline, across to my ears, and I do go down my neck as well just to make sure that we get that real even, flawless looking skin. I actually really wanted to try this foundation for so many years, and I used to watch Loz Curtis a lot and she loved True Match foundation. So I tried it, love it, and I have been using it ever since. Okay, so we are just about all blended in there. Now, once I had my foundation on, I actually felt like I wasn't getting a full enough coverage under my eyes, across my nose, those general areas where, again, like I said, I tend to get most of my makeup rubs off during the day. So for a little bit extra coverage, I was using the Maybelline New York Fit Me Concealer in shade 10, which is light. I just put it a little bit on my nose, on the top of my lip, on my chin, and just under my eyes. I also find putting it under my eyes tends to help cover up any bluer veins, dark areas, things like that. This concealer is amazing. It actually does cover all of that. I love it. And in addition to that, I actually find it's a really good dupe for the NARS concealers as well. So if you're looking for a cheaper version, this one works perfectly. I started out using a flat concealer brush, blending under there, but about halfway through I found like I just wasn't getting it blending as well as I would have liked to, so I switched back to my buffing foundation brush and blended the rest in using that. See, look how much better it blends. Okay, so now that we are all blended, it is time to set our foundation. Now I don't use face setting powders under my eyes because I get really bad creasing, fine lines, things like that under my eyes. So I am using here the W7 Banana Dreams loose powder in the shade Translucent. I know people get a bit funny about really cheap makeup brands, but I actually really love this brand. It is super cheap, which you have to love, and it actually works really, really well. So I'm using a pointed fluffy brush here. I am dipping quite a bit of powder onto that brush, and I'm basically patting it into a triangle section under both eyes and right out across my cheekbone where I would be putting any highlight. I do love this powder because I find that throughout an entire day, whether it's work or a dinner function or whatever it is, it helps to keep my makeup in place under my eyes. It stops a lot of fallout if you do your mascara afterwards. I do my eye makeup first, but as far as setting your under eye, it's awesome, awesome stuff. I am then setting my face using the Rimmel London Clear Complexion Clarifying Powder in the shade 21, which is translucent again. I'm using a super fluffy duo fiber brush, and I'm pretty much patting that all over my skin where I did not put that Banana Dreams powder. Just helps to make sure that your foundation is locked in, and then when we move on to contouring later, it will pretty much let me just blend without moving the foundation underneath. I'm now using a fluffy blush brush. Try saying that 5 times fast. Blush brush. And I'm using the NYX Baked Blush plus Illuminator plus Bronzer in the shade 7, which is Spanish Rose. It looks super, super, super pink, but it actually is really blendable and it goes onto your skin really nicely. So I'm just blending back and forth and up and down across that cheekbone there. I don't like putting great big amounts of blush onto your apples of your cheeks. I just think it looks a bit dated and I don't really like it. So for me, I just put it right in the middle between where your highlight would go on your cheekbone and where your contour will go in that hollow of your cheek. Okay, so now that our blush is done, before I do my contour, just to give my face a little bit more time to set under that powder, I am doing my lips. So I'm just rubbing off a little bit of that lip balm that I put on earlier. Just make sure it's nice and smooth and matte for our lip liner to go on. So I'm using the Rimmel London Exaggerate Full Color Lip Liner in the shade 18, which is Addiction. It's basically a brownie nude kind of lip liner, which is funny because the lipstick is a pinky nude, but they do work really well together. So I'm pretty much just lining my lips. Anywhere that I don't want my lipstick to go, I find that I line just underneath my lip, just above my top lip a little bit there. What I'm basically doing is making sure that I am getting a really good coverage on that lip line. By doing that, I find that it helps my lipstick to stay in place all day long, and it keeps that justified lip look. Doesn't bleed or blend into your foundation, which can be a real pain to fix later. But yeah, that works really well for me. So I am moving on to the lipstick, which is the Rimmel London The Only One for Me lipstick in the shade 700 Naughty Nude, which, like I said, is a really pinky kind of nude. It's a more natural looking nude for this look, so that's why I picked that. But yeah, pretty much just apply it like you would normally with your lippy. Moving on to my contour. I have this contour kit. I think I got it from eBay. I don't 100% remember. I don't think it has a brand name, but I really like it. I'm using this angled flat contouring brush, dipping the edge of my contour brush there into the top left lighter kind of taupey color. I am basically just blending that up and down underneath where we put our blush. And once I've got that nice contour line there, I use the flat side of the brush, not the edge, to blend all of it together to make sure that I've got no defined lines between my blush and my contour. That's the whole idea with a contour. You want it to look natural. You don't want it to look like you have a really sharp angled line. So I basically just blend. When I found that wasn't working, I moved on to an angled fluffy contour brush. Again, this was from an eBay set. I really like them. They were really, really cheap and they work really well for me. So I am basically using that same brush just to go back over and just blend it in, make sure it looks a bit more natural than that initial really angular defined line that you get when you first put on your product. Okay. So now that we have the contour done, I'm using that bottom bronzy brown shade. They are matte, so it doesn't bronze up heaps, but it does give you a nice sun-kissed kind of glow. So I basically just dipped that same fluffy little angled brush into that shade and basically just blending it across the tops of my forehead. And I will be blending it all the way down into my temples and just making sure it blends properly. Put too much on my brush there, so just excuse me while I try and buff that out using that fluffy duo fiber brush from earlier. That's better. Alright, so now that I've fixed my excessive little bronzy mishap there, I am basically just going over that contour, and then I go down and put a little bit on my chin bones as well, or my jawline bones as well. I just find that that helps to give a little bit more of a defined contour, and it just helps to even out my jawline, chin line a little bit better. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm just grabbing that duo fiber brush. I'm just going over those areas again. You'll notice that I am actually sweeping the product on here because at this point there's been about 10 minutes between where we put on my foundation and the setting powders, so it's had plenty of time to settle. Once I'm done with my contour, this is my favorite part, so I'm moving on to my highlight. I'm using the Mary Luminizer from the Balm. Love, love, love this product. It is so pigmented. So if you are going to use it, please make sure that you use a fluffy duo fiber brush like this little one that I have here, because it will make your cheeks glow. So once you've got some on your brush, I basically just go over the top of where I had my blush. So along the top of that cheekbone, careful not to actually go into the blush because we obviously want to have blush cheeks. That's the whole point. So once I've got a little bit on my cheeks and up across my temple, I do put a little bit on my cupid's bow there, a little bit down the bridge of my nose. Then once I'm done there, I get a teeny tiny little accent eyebrow brush, and I'm putting a little bit of that Mary Luminizer highlight onto that accent brush, and I'm basically putting it on just under the brow bone there where I've already obviously done my eyes, but I did skip this step just so I could show you. It is kind of unnecessary if you've got a beigey kind of shade that you can put under there, because that will do the same thing, but I really like how this looks. So for me, this is my basic foundation / contouring highlight type routine. I pretty much wear this if I'm going out generally in the day, but I really hope you enjoy this tutorial, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Thanks guys!